It should come as no surprise to my friends and viewers that trading card games have always had a very special place in my heart. In this series, both Raikourider and myself will be opening 24 packs or one box of a core Yu-Gi-Oh set. Every week we will add an additional core set to our collections, moving in chronological order. We will use these cards to create a deck and then face off against one another in a best 2 out of 3 match, with the winner receiving 2 prizes to upgrade their deck, while the loser receives 1. These prizes can range from wild cards, to sealed product, to starter decks, and more. Every card that has been released will be available to us at least once. However, we cannot rest on our laurels. Between the ever-evolving nature of the Forbidden and Limited list, the cards that we ourselves choose to banish into the Shadow Realm, and even the way the very rules of the game will change, will keep our decks and our duels fresh. This is yet another Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series. Okay, so maybe relying on Flower Wolf was not the best idea, especially finding out that Rai has a Tri-Horn Dragon, but that's okay. That's okay. That was just the first set. So we're just going to move on to the next set here, which is Metal Raiders. This was released in May of 2002. Or June 2002 rather, and this set is actually a bit of a headache because of how big the set itself is. And for those who don't understand what I mean by that, modern Yu-Gi-Oh sets are typically about 100 cards per set, maybe a few more. This set, between short prints, the two super short prints, and the commons, there's 100 cards there just from the common stacks. There's a grand total of 144 cards in this set. It is massive, so it's going to be real troubling to get what we want in multiples. We're hoping to pull what we need here. So let's go through a few of the key cards that we are hoping to see. First thing first, in the short print, we're actually hoping to see this. It's called Thunder Dragon, and at first glance, it actually doesn't seem all that strong. Level 5 Dragon, Thunder Monster. You could discard this card, add up to 2 Thunder Dragon from your deck to your hand. On the surface, doesn't seem very good. However, it's a light monster, which is very good for later down the road. It's a deck thinner, which is also really good, and we also have polymerization. So, if we could pull the fusion for this card, that's going to be even better. And we'll get to that in a little bit. Scrolling through the comments here, we've got a few basic ones. Not a whole lot to start with that's very interesting. A few decent tech cards though. Soul Release is actually pretty good. You could pick up the 5 cards in the graveyard, banish them. It is a bit slow, but it could be useful. We actually want to see these two. Ancient Wisdom, Tainted Wisdom and Ancient Brain. And the reason we want to see those is because they actually come into the Skull Knight down here as a fusion, which they're all commons. All 3 of them are commons, so we should be able to hopefully pull enough to make a deck based on that. It would definitely be nice. Scrolling back up a little bit, we have Jiraigumo, 2200 attacker for a 4-star, so it's a pretty strong card. The only restriction is if it attacks, we have to flip a coin and call it, and if we call it wrong, we pay half our life points. But if our life points are low, but we're pushing for endgame anyway, that's not as big a deal. Ryukushin powered, 1600 attacker, kind of outclasses the Skull Redbirds we have, so that's kind of nice. 7-color fish is 1800, and it's the highest attack for a 4-star vanilla with no with no downside. So if we could pull a few of them, that'll be nice. Similar vein, Bistro Butcher, 1800 attack. However, when it inflicts battle damage, the opponent draws 2 cards. Kind of a bad trade-off. So hopefully we find more 7-colored fish than that. Sword of Deep-Seated is a card that can be kind of nice. It gives a 500 attack point boost to a monster, and if it's sent to the graveyard, it goes back on top of your deck. Which is good because it means it can help you prevent deck out, but it's bad in the sense that if your opponent's able to pop it, they can control what you draw. And then Block Attack's another good common card. Pick a monster in attack mode, switch it to defense. Similar to how we plan to use Stop Defense to deal with some 2K defenders, this will be a good way to deal with something like a 7-colored fish or a Jiragumo. So scrolling up into the rares, we actually have quite a few here we want to talk about. First off, we have Mask of Darkness and Magician of Faith. These two are very similar in that they get a card from your graveyard when they flip. Magician of Faith is the better one because it retrieves spell cards. Mask of Darkness takes back traps. But both can be very useful depending on what we pull. White Magical Hat is a pretty good monster. It only has 1,000 attack points, but if it deals battle damage to an opponent, you could take a card from their opponent's hand and discard it randomly. Depending on what he got, dumping his cards can be pretty important for us. And then we have Sangan and Witch of the Black Forest. These are our two big ones. When they go to the graveyard from the field, you can search for a monster with up to 1,500 attack with Sangan, or 1,500 defense with Witch. So that'll help find us some important cards later. And the only other two rares we want to see primarily are Dark Elf, which 2,000 attack for a 4-star. Only restriction is you pay 1,000 life points to attack with it. Still not bad. And then Robin Goblin basically is White Magical Hat, but it gives the effect to all of your monsters. So we kind of want to see at least one of that. And then up into the super rares. First off, Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. This is what I'm talking about for the fusion. If we could get this and 3 Thunder Dragons, this can make a pretty powerful monster here. It's still weaker than Trihorn Dragon, but only by 50 points, and we could find ways around that. Tribute to the Doomed is a good card. Discard a card from your hand, destroy one monster on the field. We are kind of lacking in destruction and removal, so that's kind of important. Heavy Storm, destroy all spell and traps on the field. That's a good card. Again, we lack destruction, we lack removal. If we could get that, that's going to be very good. Karibo is a bit of a gimmick, but it's a hand trap that if you're about to take battle damage, you could pitch it, make that damage 0. So, in a pinch, it might be useful. The ultra rares are going to be the big ones for us, though. Summon Skull is a 1 tribute 2,500 attacker. Very good card. Change of Heart is an amazing card. Lets you take control of an opponent's monster for a turn. Solemn Judgment. Pay half your life points to negate any spell or trap that's activated, or the summon of a monster. Magic Jammer and 7 Tools are pretty good for spot removal and negation. And Mirror Force is good for attacking monsters. So, if we get hit Mirror Force, that'll probably be one of the best ones here. And then for the secret rares, neither of them are particularly good. Thousand Dragons is a fusion, but it requires hitting Time Wizard, which is an ultra rare. And Gate Guardian requires 3 super rare monsters, all being on the field. So, probably not going to want to see that. But we're going to go ahead and get into the pack opening. Okay, so before we get into the pack opening, there is actually one other thing we need to talk about. And that is, we're going to be playing by the Forbidden and Limited lists of the time with each set release. So, this is the very first limited list. It was set in May 2002. The only things that it affects are the 5 pieces of Exodia, Change of Heart, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed, and Raigeki go to 1. Card Destruction and Swords of Revealing Light go to 2. So for us so far, the only things that really matter is Pot of Greed's at 1. We only have 1 anyway. Raigeki's at 1, so we don't have any reason to wildcard any more copies of it. And then we have 1 Swords of Revealing Light, but that actually doesn't impact us. So it's not that big a deal. So just wanted to give that a heads up, and just let you guys know that whenever things do change, we are going to go ahead and make those adjustments. So let's go ahead and get into the packs. Okay, so 24 packs of Metal Raiders. Let's really hope that we could get some decent cards out of this. I'm not even too concerned about the holos necessarily, I just want to see some of the big attack monsters. So let's flip them over and let's see. So right off the bat, we hit a Skull Knight, which is a pretty good card. Hopefully we could get the pieces for the fusion. And we hit a white magical hat, so that's actually not a bad start. Hopefully we will see some more of it and maybe some better cards as well. Okay, so 4 packs in, first Magician of Faith. Not a bad card. Like I said, this is one of those that we really want to see a few of. So hopefully we see a few more of that, at least one more of that. Big Eye's a pretty decent card. It can let us look at the top 5 cards of our deck, rearrange them. Prevent Rat, just a basic good 2k defender, so that's good to see. Holy shit, dude. Heavy Storm. That's gonna be really big. That is a game changer. Also, another Prevent Rat, which is really good. Tainted Wisdom, happy to see that. And Fake Trap. This is actually a card I really like, and is honestly kind of slept on by a lot of people. You can only activate it when your opponent activates a card effect that would destroy a trap you control. You can actually flip this up and destroy this card instead. Now, you do have to reveal the trap card to prove that it's a trap before you let it stay. And if your opponent's playing something like a Heavy Storm, this doesn't work on it. But later down the road, it's going to be very nice. If we pull something like MST and he tries to hit one of my trap cards, I can flip this up to stop it, which can be pretty nice. So yeah, that's a really good pack right here. Oh my god, that is such a good pack. Okay, second Magician of Faith, which is good, and an Ancient Brain, which, if I remember correctly, I think we actually have... We pulled an Ancient Wisdom, a Tainted Wisdom, and I think we pulled a Skull Servant. Or, not Skull Servant, Skull Knight. So that actually gives us the ability to do the Skull Knight fusion, which is pretty nice. Okay, so third Magician of Faith. Honestly, I actually got a playset of that a lot faster than I thought I would. Also, first 7 colored fish, which is good to see. Hopefully we can pull at least one more of them. Alright, and just like that, that's our second white magical hat. Second 7 colored fish, which is good, and a Garnicia Elephantis super rare. Now, granted, this is a decent card. It's 2400 attack for 2 tributes. But given the fact that he has Trihorn Dragon, that makes this card a bit less useful. But who knows, maybe if we have a way to pull it from the graveyard later down the road or something. But still a nice pickup nonetheless. Okay, so good news, we have our third 7 colored fish. Bad news, we hit our secret rare Thousand Dragon. Yeah, that's not very good, man. Like, I would have preferred almost any holo to that, but I guess our third 7 color fish is gonna make this pack worth it still. Oh man, fourth Magician of Faith. Usually I have trouble getting more than one of these things, and now I actually ended up pulling more than I can even use. And honestly, the rest of this pack doesn't seem all that great either, which is a bit of a bummer. Okay. A fourth 7 color fish. This has really gone feast to famine on us right here. But second Ancient Brain, which is pretty good. Hopefully we could get a second Tainted Wisdom to kind of make this idea a little more fleshed out. And we hit a Mask of Darkness, which can be pretty nice depending on if we hit any good trap cards. Okay, so not a whole lot in this pack to really point out. However, we did hit a Paralyzing Potion, And this is actually not a bad card itself. It's an equipped spell that only works on non-machine type monsters, and the monster that's equipped with it can't attack. So if Rai brings out his Trihorn Dragon, we could actually just slap this on it and basically neutralize it entirely, so that's actually not that bad. Okay, well, there's our next Tainted Wisdom, which is okay. And we hit a second Mask of Darkness, which is good. Unfortunately, I'm noticing we're about 19 packs in, so we only have 5 packs left. We have yet to see a single Witch of the Black Forest, a single Sangin, and we have not seen no Dark Elf either, so that's actually a bit concerning. Hopefully we could hit some of those soon, because otherwise we're really going to be in some trouble. 21 packs in, and there's our first Jiraigumo. That's, again, also a bit worrying. Bistro Butcher is there, but, again, that's not very good of a card if we really need it. And we hit 3 7-color fish anyway, so kind of don't need to worry about him. Also, shoutouts to Skybills and the rest of the Forbidden Memories community for their boy Trent up there. Okay, coming up on our last pack, we didn't really hit anything special here. So, we have one last pack to hit. We still have not seen a single Witch, a single Sangin. Can we please see one of the two? One. Never lucky. Okay, so... well, there's our last Tainted Wisdom, so that's nice. So... yeah, that's about it. We're gonna have to go into deck edit and see what we can do here. So... I'll catch you guys on the flip side once I... well, this is certainly not what I was expecting the deck to look like after the packs, but... this is what we have to work with, so... let's go ahead and run through the card by card and see what we're working with here. To start with, we have 2 copies of Big Eye. This is probably not a great card, but if it flips, we can look at the top 5 cards of our deck and then rearrange them in any order we want. Not the best of effects, but if we can pull something to the front of the line, then we might actually be able to make use of that. 3 copies of Magician of Faith. Thank God we pulled this. It sucks that we have not pulled Sangin or Witch, but this at least is something to work with. This can help us pull back a couple of our key spells. 1 copy of Maneater Bug. Again, we don't have a whole lot of removal, so we're going to take what we can get. 2 copies of Tainted Wisdom. Yes, I know, this is going to be a really gimmicky and stupid deck, but we're going to go for it anyway. Skull Knight is a powerful card, and we really need what we got. 3 copies of 7-color fish. Once again, very good thing we pulled this when we did, because we really needed it. 2 copies of Ancient Brain. Again, it's only there to deal with the fusion. Otherwise, it's basically just a meat shield if necessary. 1 copy of Garnitia Elephantis. As a 2 tribute monster, I really wish it could have been something better. Any of the Gate Guardian pieces would have been preferred, but we got what we got. 1 copy of Giant Soldier of Stone, and 3 copies of Prevent Rat. Again, 2k defenders, anything to help block us out and stop Rai from advancing on us. 2 copies of Skull Redbird. I will explain this. With 7-color fish being our primary attacker, Skull Redbird is not going to be quite as useful. That being said, we are going to try to have a bit of an offensive presence here. 2 copies of Spirit of the Harp to round out our monsters. Again, 2k defender, good for a wall. For spells, we have a Follow Wind, which it's only there to help the Skull Redbirds, but it's something at least. Yes, it's not a great card given the rest of our deck, but we need to use what we can. 1 copy of Heavy Storm, probably one of the few good things that we pulled out of Metal Raiders, and the fact that we can actually pop back row is going to be nice. 3 copies of Hinotama. Again, low damage output, but we don't really have a lot of good cards to work with here. 1 copy of Paralyzing Potion. I really wish we would have pulled more than 1, but it stops his monster, so that's good. 2 copies of Polymerization. 1 copy of Pot of Greed. 1 copy of Raigeki. Rai is going to lose his mind when he sees this. One-stop defense, one sort of deep-seated. I'm still a bit iffy on it, but if it can get us over his Trihorn Dragon and prevent us from decking out, then it can be nice. One Swords of Revealing Light. I've main decked 2 copies of Dragon Capture Jar because I'm expecting Trihorn Dragon to make an appearance, and at least this will put it in defense mode and make it harder for him to make use of it. 2 copies of Fake Trap primarily to help deal with him trying to destroy Dragon Capture Jar. Whether or not he will actually, I don't know, but at least this can also act as a fake, as some bait for him to try to remove it if he pulls his own Heavy Storm. And the 2-pronged attack, which, if we have to use it, we will. In the side deck, we have our 2 Armed Ninja to help deal with any spell cards, 2 Mask of Darkness to pull back what few trap cards we actually have, 2 copies of White Magical Hat. Again, right now we're not going to be able to make use of it too much, but if we could rip a couple cards out of his hand, then it'll be great. We've got 1 copy of Aquamador, again, another 2K defender. 3rd Skull Redbird in case we really need that offense. Turtle Tiger is here just basically as another defense. Kind of outdated, but still. 2 Urabi and 2 Raised Body Heat for more offense. And then we have the 3rd Dragon Capture Jar and Fake Trap here. The extra deck is basically just random stuff here. 1 copy of Skull Knight. Would have been nice if we had a second one, but them's the breaks. And then Gaia the Dragon Champion and Thousand Dragon are here basically for moral support, I guess you could say. So, yeah, we're going to have to focus on that. But for now, it's time to duel.
So, Demon, I hear you're probably excited to actually play with monsters that have effects. May I ask how your fishing trip was?
Oh, I think you'll find out the answer to that pretty soon.
Well, we shall see how this goes. This is a very important duel because there are a few cards we won't be able to get anywhere else on the line.
Yeah.
So if it was not explained at the beginning of the episode, we have decided to implement starter deck and structure deck cards into the progression series. How it works is, for any time there is a pair of starter or structure decks released, the winner will get their choice of all the exclusive cards from that one deck, and then the loser will be able to optionally take the cards from the other deck. There's a pretty obvious choice considering what's in starter deck Yugi, so hopefully I can snap that up. If not, that's okay. The Kaiba cards are pretty strong too.
True.
But either way, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Good luck to you.
Good luck. Ah!
That's a pretty good start. I will take the play. Good luck, duelist.
Good luck. Let's see.
Alright. I'll draw for my turn. Stand by main. I am going to set a pair. Go ahead.
The Humble Tea set. Alright, I draw.
Considering this is the first set that actually has playable trap cards.
Right. That's gonna be interesting. Thinking. Okay, I think I'm going to set a couple of cards. And I think I will set this monster in defense mode.
Sure, you got it. No one wants to make the first move. Draw for turn, stand by main. Well, if you're not gonna make the first move, then I will. I am going to normal summon my Skull Redbird.
That's a card.
I will flip up my Blackland Fire Dragon. I will proceed to the battle phase. And I will attack into your set.
Alright. That will... okay, that'll take my Tainted Wisdom.
I figured you might be on this just because of the presence of Skull Knight. Let's go for 1500 direct.
I will take that.
After combat, I'm going to set one more. Go ahead.
Alright, draw. Ooh, there's a card. Alright, so I'm going to normal summon my 7-colored fish.
That's what I was afraid of. Sounds like your fishing trip was at least a partial success.
So let's go ahead and eat that skull red bird.
I am okay with that. I will take 250 points of damage.
Alright. Main phase 2. I'm gonna go ahead and set one more card. And pass the turn.
Draw for turn, stand by main. I do have the block attack for the 7-colored fish.
Ooh. Yeah. That'll resolve.
I will run out your Raby.
Okay.
Proceed to the battle phase. Your Raby into your 7-colored fish.
Yeah,
and then
that's
black
a good
land for 1500 direct.
Alright.
After combat, I will set another back row and I will proceed to the end phase.
Alright. Draw. Stand by main. Thinking. Well, I'm not exactly thrilled about this one, but I'm going to activate... I'm going to activate my paralyzing potion. Come on. There we go. And I'm going to target your Raby.
Sure, there is a paralyzing potion.
And then I'm going to set another monster. And I will pass.
Alright. Draw for turn, stand by main. Kind of want to see what your monster is. I do have the stop defense. Did I get a 2k defender?
No, it's another tainted
No,
wisdom.
but I got the tainted. I did get the tainted wisdom. Alright, let's actually be a little bit aggressive with this. I'm actually going to go with my giant soldier of stone here.
Alright.
Let's go to the battle phase. I will attack for 250 points of damage.
Alright, so that goes.
And then another 1300 points of damage.
Alright, I'll take it.
Go ahead.
Draw. Stand by main.
For your sake, you better have something to turn this around soon.
I know. Alright, I'm gonna set a monster and pass.
Draw for turn, stand by main. Let's proceed to the battle phase, and I will attack into your set.
Well, finally.
Ah, the prevent rat.
I went dry for a while.
Okay, I will take 500 points of damage. After combat, I am going to set a monster, and I'm going to switch my stone soldier to defense position. Go ahead.
Alright, I draw. Stand by main. That is not really what I wanted to see. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and activate my Hinotama.
I will take 500 points of damage. Still on the Hinotama, I see.
Yep. I'm going to set a monster. And then I'm going to pass.
Alright, draw for turn. Stand by main. I will proceed to the battle phase, and I will attack into your new set. Is it another 2K Defender?
It is not. It is actually my Magician of Faith.
Oh, what's in here? Just the Hinotama. I don't care about that. Sure, you can 500 me. Pass!
Alright, I draw. Stand by main. Well, you know what I'm gonna do. Fireball.
Yup. 500 to the face.
And another monster.
If that actually wins you... I'm gonna say, if that actually wins you a game, I'm gonna cry.
That would be funny.
Alright, draw for turn. Stand by main. Alright, let's see this little defense card of yours.
God, I hate that you keep playing that.
Alright, let's proceed to the battle phase, and I'll just hit over it. For
Yeah.
1,000.
So I take 1,000 here.
Yeah, stop defense is a pretty good removal tool. Pass.
Kind of wish I had pulled more than one of them.
Yeesh.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead... Well, I guess I have no choice. I'm gonna summon my Skull Redbird to the field.
Sure, Skull Redbird's fine.
And I'm going to equip it with a Follow Wind.
Sure, it's 1850.
The question is, do I want to go after your black land, or do I worry that it's gonna... Do I worry that you're gonna have something for the Fire Dragon? You know what? At this point, I need to make moves, so let's go ahead and ram into your Blackland Fire Dragon.
Sure, that's fine. I'll take the 350.
Alright. Finally, some progress here.
Draw for turn. Stand by main. I think we're actually in pretty good shape now. I'm going to flip up my Spirit of the Heart. I don't know why that happened, but I'm not passing the turn.
Here's what I'll do. I'm gonna turn off auto draw, start the turn, pass the turn, just shut off auto draw.
Okay, that works.
There you go.
That works. Okay, so I'm flipping up my monsters. Then you probably know what's coming. I'm going to activate Shield and Sword.
Oh no. So
all currently summoned monsters have their attack and defense switched. Or their original attack and defense get switched.
Oh, so I'm gonna lose. So my Skull Redbird's down to 1,500 then.
It is. And I have a 7-colored fish of my own, which is not affected by Shield and Sword.
Ew. So that would be 18... 23.
I will proceed to the battle phase.
So I'm gonna be down to like 100 life points.
Yeah, you're not gonna... This will not be lethal, but it's a pretty big push. So my 2K Spirit of the Heart into your Skull Redbird, so you'll take 500.
Okay.
Then the Giant Soldier of Stone into your 500 Defense Prevent Rat, and then this should be lethal. 2,000?
Yeah, I misread that so bad. Okay.
Shield and Sword is so good. This one goes a little bit better for you.
Let's see. Here's hoping. So I'm gonna go first on this one as soon as it stops lagging. Come on.
Hopefully.
Alright, let's see. Draw. Standby main. Alright, I'm gonna set a card. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna set a monster and then set a back row.
Alright, draw for turn, stand by main.
Okay.
We'll start with the Blackland Fire Dragon again.
Alright.
Battle phase.
Alright.
Hit.
You have attacked my big eye. So let's.
Okay.
How do I actually do? Alright, I'm gonna banish the top 5 face down and go with it that way.
Yeah, that's the way to. That's the most efficient way to do it.
Let's see. We'll put that.
It's
And
a good
then-
card. Did you know that Big Eye saw competitive play in Reaper format?
That's insane, to be honest. Like, I mean, it's a good playground staple. It's just, in competitive, it's definitely not, amazing.
It actually saw play specifically in the Stein OTK decks, because more consistency.
Okay.
Because by then Stein had been reprinted in a method that was actually accessible to players. Alright, after combat, we'll set one, and pass the turn.
Alright. Draw. Standby main. So we're gonna go ahead and run out a 7-colored fish.
You got it.
And let's go ahead and take care of that dragon.
300 in.
And pass the turn.
Draw for turn, stand by main. I do have the Dark Elf.
Ooh. Okay.
Go to battle phase. I will pay cost to attack.
Alright. So that will take care of the fish.
And that'll do. Yeah, Dark Elf's a pretty good card.
It is. It's a bit of an expensive card, but it's a good card. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna summon out a Skull Redbird and pass the turn.
Interesting. Draw for turn, stand by main. What do you have? I am going to run out. I'm going to go ahead and run out the switch to the Black Forest.
Yeah, there we go. Knew we were gonna see
Proceed
at
to the
least
battle
one of those.
phase.
Alright.
I'll proceed to the battle phase. I mean, if this is Mirror Force, I'm not down a bunch, but I will pay cost to attack. Do you have the Mirror Force?
I do not.
11 direct. You have to remember, your life points are a resource. Use them wisely. Go
True.
ahead.
Draw. Standby main. Alright, we're gonna run out another 7-colored fish.
I see your fishing trip was very successful.
Oh yes. And let's go ahead and out the witch.
I will take 700 points damage. I will go to my deck and I will find something. What do I want to find is the question. Let's go ahead and find us a Magician of Faith.
Magician of Faith. Okay. Interesting. That's not what I was expecting you to pick up.
Draw for turn, stand by main. I'll go ahead and run out a 7-colored fish of my own.
Oh, alright.
Battle phase.
Okay.
Attack into 7-colored fish, pay for cost.
Okay.
And then 18 direct.
Yeah.
Go.
Stand by main. Okay. Darn it. That's... Alright, I'm gonna run out another 7-colored fish.
That's 3. Must be nice.
I actually pulled, I want to say like 4 or 5 of these things.
Wow, that's pretty nuts. Draw for turn, stand by main. Unfortunately for you, unless you have a response, this is going to be the end of the game.
Go ahead and show it.
Cannon Soldier?
Yep, that's actually pretty frustrating.
Yeah, I think that the way our pools evolved, this matchup was very die roll dependent. And even if you didn't, I actually had another kill spell in my hand.
Oh, you pulled a Tribute to the Doomed. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, Tribute to the Doomed is a great card.
Well, I guess it's a better super rare than the one I pulled.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a bomb. It's a bomb, but I don't know how good the vanilla bombs are going to be. I think they're going to be good for one more duel, but then once we actually get just monster removal at rare, they won't be quite as good.
Right. Okay, so we lost that match. Honestly, I'm not surprised. And unfortunately for us, that means that Rai is going to actually get 2 really big bombs in Card Destruction and Last Will. Which, Last Will is a really powerful spell card, and knowing that we're going to have to deal with that until God knows when is going to be a pain. But I've decided that instead of taking the starter deck Kaiba cards, because really the only things that provides us in terms of the exclusives are just a couple more beaters, which they're 1800 and lower, so we actually don't get any real use for them. So instead, what we're going to do is we're just going to take the 6 packs of Metal Raiders and hope that we could hit a Sangan, a Witch, and maybe something else. But let's see what we can pull. Okay, so right off the bat, we actually hit a Robin Goblin, which is not actually a bad card. I mean, granted, for the rare slot, I definitely would have preferred something else, but that's actually not as bad as it could have been. So, we'll take that. So, second pack. Let's see. Witch of the Black Forest. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We really needed to pull that. And a third Tainted Wisdom, which, granted, I'm not really going to be focused on that, really, because we still only have one Skull Knight. But, God, seeing that Witch makes me so happy. Third pack is... nothing really special, it looks like. Another Mocha, but we're not really going to use that. Okay, so that's our third copy of White Magical Hat, which I'm not going to gripe about that, but... God, I really hope we could at least hit one Sandgen. That would be pretty nice. So, we have 2 more packs to go. Are you shitting me? We actually hit the Gate Guardian as our secret rare. Like... That could have been anything else. Like, I would have preferred it to be anything else. There's our third Mocha in the process, too, but... God. Okay, one more pack. Please, please let us hit a Sandgen. That is not a Sandgen. God damn it. Well, we actually get a second... We actually got a Jiraigumo, which... You know what? That's actually not that bad. I mean, it could have been a lot better... But at least we actually have that available to us again. I mean, that's our second one, but still. Well, honestly, they could be worse. I guess we'll just have to hope that we could pull a rare wildcard later on to pick up a Sandgen, so. Alright, with that being said, I guess that's going to be the end of the game for tonight. So, everyone, have a good night. See you next time.